How to write a chapter. Matter of fact is, if you can write a successful, highly engaging chapter of a book, you can write a great book. Hey, my name's Bogdan, author of 6 Day Publish and founder of Mind Success Lab. I want to show you how to write a highly engaging and highly educational chapter in your book. Because if you're watching this, chance you have an idea or you're already in the book writing process. So how do you write a chapter? You see, most people, they think that it's all about the content. And they start the chapter with content, then they add more content, then they add more content. They think if they add as much content in, they're gonna write the best chapter in their book and therefore write the best book. Matter of fact is, it's not that. If you go on and you research and you study the greatest books, the books that have come to become bestsellers and legacy parts of industries, legacy defining books of industries, you'll realize they're not all about squishing in as much content. You see, writing a chapter is very much like a burger. It's like a burger. The content is all the stuff in the middle, but you have to squeeze it in between two buns. Meaning your content has to be within engagement. That's what's going to get your content to be written, expressed in the most direct and the most effective way for your audience. So let's go back to the burger analogy. Your content is all the stuff in the middle of the burger. So what are the buns? Their engagement. When I coach my high-ticket coaching clients on the book process that they're going through, I often tell them, a book, writing a chapter is like a dance. Every chapter is like a dance. It's a balance between engagement and content. Engagement and content. If you have too much engagement, as in you have, or your entire chapter is filled with stories and metaphors and inspiration, everything like that, all the fluffy stuff that makes us read books and makes us inspired, but it has no content, as in no substance, people are going to be left like, yes, I feel great, but what do I do? There's nothing I can really go ahead with and apply into my life from this non-fiction book. Meanwhile, if your book is all content, you're going to bore your audience. No matter how amazing your content is, they'll stop reading and you won't get the effect you want. So it's a balance between the two. So content is data and statistics, and here's what to do, here's how to do it, here's checklists, all that stuff is content. Context or perspective or engagement, as I define it, engagement in the book is things like stories and metaphors and parables and case studies and inspirational quotes, all of that ties into the engagement side. And you need a balance between the two. So you might start your chapter, if you look at most chapters in most great non-fiction books, they start with engagement. They start with a story or start with a case study, or they start with, okay, here's what happened. Here's the background to the lesson, to the piece of content I want to share with you. So they start with the engagement. Then once they've got you engaged, once they've got you in a story, then they go into the content. So they might tell you a story about the business they grew and then that business failed and collapsed. And here are the 8 reasons why it did. You see, them sharing those 8 reasons after they told you the engagement, the context, far more effective because you have the background. You have far greater emotional attachment to those lessons. You're far more likely to implement those lessons going forward in your life. So it's engagement. Then you always want to end your chapter on engagement. You want to end it with uplifting. So it's kind of like you're starting the chapter at a high point of energy, engagement. You're starting with a story or something that happened with your life. It's not about happiness or happy emotions. It's about the story, the engagement. Could be a heartbreak. Whatever it is, that piece of engagement, you're starting with that. Then you're hooking into the content, the statistics, all the stuff in the middle. Then you're putting the other bun on the other side. So you're packaging it all in a way in which your audience is engaged, equally engaged as it is being educated. It's the balance between the two, engagement and content. If you could strike that balance correctly, those two parts are working together, you'll write a great chapter. Then once you can write a great chapter, frankly, you can write a great book. So apply this. How can you add either more content or more engagement to balance it out in order for your book to be equally engaging and inspiring and empowering as equally educational, so your audience can take something away, apply into their life, and say that your book changed their life forever.